James Lunis, welcome to the tasting table. These wines are next from the producer La Follette. These are Sonoma County wines, Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. Stay tuned to get my thoughts, perspectives, point score on these fantastic, dazzling wines. Stay tuned. So I've tasted La Follette for years, and it's very nice to be tasting them right now. I think these are absolutely gorgeous wines to be tasting, especially in the fall time. There's something exquisite about fall-winter time where I think it's, to be, I guess, enjoying being inside more often and enjoying fantastic food and wines and expressing that in the best way possible. So on these wines here, you have much more of a larger production wines. These are screw cap. These are called Los Primeros, and then I have these two other vineyard specific wines. I'll talk about those right after, but first actually the Chardonnay and then the Pinot Noir. So here we go. I'll talk about this Los Primeros, and it's a 2021 Chardonnay, and I think it's an absolutely dazzling wine. And this is not that Chardonnay that I think a lot of people don't want to be tasting, like a wine that's going to be just too characteristically oaky and buttery. So this is not that wine. This is a very balanced wine. So here is the front label, and here's a back label. This is a larger case production of 2,451 cases, $25 price point, 13.5% ABV. I think it's fantastic. Very hard to get to that point these days, but it's one that I think is worth enjoying. Now, I'm just gonna point out, yes, you can have a balanced wine at 14.5% ABV, but I definitely like to try down, and I would say it's very, very hard to find that midpoint of, I would say, optimized ABV as it relates to Chardonnay and actually a lot of wines in general. And I enjoy this in a very large format glass. I know a lot of people don't like them. I do. I think they not only do they sound great, they also taste quite exquisite because I'm able to smell the wine effortlessly. So here we go. First, I'll give you some characterization, and I'm going to talk about this in terms of these wines. I don't have vinification notes for each of them. I will give you some information that I have that's on the bottle itself and that I found on the tech sheets as well. So here we go first with this wine. Green apple, commas pear, a bit of nutmeg notation, flowers, and compacted seashells. Exquisite. Next, the palate characterization. So I love the palate, I love the acidity on this wine. Nicely balanced, so this is a core of autumnal fruit of green apples, commas pear again, those crushed seashell notes, and white floral notation. So this wine is 93 points out of 100 points. Now next we'll go to La Follette, Zephyr Farm, Sonoma Coast Chardonnay 2020. So here we go with this wine. I'm going to show you the back label. I think it's a nice bit of information here, a bit of copy that you can see. So here is the label itself, and I definitely like this because it gives some really nice bits of information that I love to know about. Based on this, this is saying that this is a very small block of Chardonnay, 1.3 acres. Soil content is gold ridge sandy loam. Elevation is 525 feet, and it's clone 5, and it's a north-south aspect. Spacing is 5 by 8 feet, and the year planted is in the year 2000. ABV is 13.4%. Very small case production on the Zephyr Farm, Sonoma Coast Chardonnay, and it is quite fundamentally different and yet very appreciable as well. So this is, the coloration is beautiful on this wine. Slightly a bit of a lighter gold colorization. Appreciable nose of hibiscus, green apple, commas pear, nutmeg note, as well as a bit of white floral notation. And next, the palate characterization. So this is expressive of green apple, fleshy pear, oyster shell, pine nut. So freshly roasted pine nut. When you actually roast those and deshell them, they have this really beautiful fragrance to them, and earthiness and a kiss of sweetness. This is not sweet, of course, but it definitely has that characterization of freshness, and the acidity is lively and bold and beautiful. So this is a 95 point wine out of 100 points. And next we'll go to La Follette Pinot Noir. So this is, I'll show you, this is obviously the screw cap wine, the Pinot Noir, Los Primeros. I appreciate this wine very much because I think it's a fantastic, beautiful Pinot Noir. And here's the label up close. And here's a back label for you to look at here. I think this is an exquisite wine, and it's really hard to find a, I would say, well-priced Pinot Noir. Some people may say that $25 is not a good price, but I'd say over time, we've seen Pinot Noir increase in pricing relative to other varieties. And yet, I dare anyone to try say under $10 Pinot Noir. It is not going to be pleasing. It's not going to be a wine that you're going to enjoy time and again. Now they have a case production of 3,062 cases and a $25 price point, 13.5% ABV, completely balanced and absolutely exquisite, and very hard to get a 13.5% ABV. And so this is a producer that has consistently done a lower ABV. And, I think that's quite extraordinary, especially in these warmer times that we live in. And yet, even in this cooler region, there are increasing temperatures. But this is, I think it's such a balanced, beautiful, gorgeous wine, and one where I think it's quite exquisite. I think the other call out here is the colorization, cathedral stained glass window. And what I very much enjoy about this wine is it's very vitreous. And some of my criticisms for some California Pinot Noir is that they're over macerated. They seem to be like a Syrah wine, simply because I think you're tasting the skin versus the fruit itself. And I think that's really a very difficult thing to be tasting. And that's something that in many ways can be crowd pleasing because people like to see that non-vitreous quality. People make judgments. They want to see something that's going to be completely, if it's red, they want to see non-vitreous quality to the wine. So this is a glorious nose of red and black fruit, forest floor, mineral, dried herbs, and a hint of lavender. And next, the palate characterization. Now, one thing on the palate, it's very tart, which I enjoy quite a bit. And additionally on this, I'm going to get some characterization of dark cherry, mix of red and black bramble. When I think of that, I think of a boysenberry, which is a mix of black and red bramble, but it does characterize slightly differently than the separate red and black bramble berries. This is also giving a note of graphite, white pepper, dried tarragon, and purple floral. This is 93 points out of 100 points. And the next wine I'll be reviewing is a La Follette Heintz Vineyard Russian River Valley Pinot Noir 2019. Okay, before I pour on this, I'm going to show you the front label. And this is La Follette 2019 vintage. So you see on the back here, more information, more data points on this wine specific. So the Los Primeros wouldn't have that necessarily, but these individual vineyard selections definitely have that. Now let me pour some in my wine glass, and perfect vessel for this wine. Now it's a 3rd generation wine, grape grower, and that is Charlie Heintz. The site is located on exposed ridge, experiencing warmer temperatures in an otherwise cool region, which produces wines of richness and tension. And so this is more information. Of course, you're going to see here is block size of 2 acres. Soil type is gold rich sandy loam. Elevation is 900 feet above sea level. Clones are Pomard 4, 115, and Swan. Root stock is 3309 and 5C, 13.5% ABV, and this is a $60 price point. And this is dynamically different than this other wine here. This is, I would say, even slightly more vitreous in colorization. Absolutely gorgeous acidity on this wine. It's definitely, fantastic for food, but very enjoyable on its own. I think the balance on this is a nice tension point of fruit and spice and floral notation. Well-structured wine, and one where I think it's absolutely dazzling with its characterization of red cherry, early season red cherry, red raspberry, boysenberry notes, ground pepper, hint of clove, purple flowers, and graphite. So a lot of notation there, right? So I've tasted more expensive Pinot Noir from this area, but I think this is a fantastic find, and I think you get a lot for your money. And I think, to me, this is an elegant, beautiful, gorgeous Pinot Noir, and one that I can enjoy often and again, and enjoy with a very special meal, and enjoy this with beef, with salmon, enjoy this with stillhead trout. There's many ways to enjoy this wine. So more information on the producer down below, questions and comments you could leave there. You can acquire these wines directly from the producer that receipts wines from California. You can keep up with me. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and WordPress. Share this video with somebody interested in fantastic Chardonnay and Pinot Noir from Sonoma County, Russian River Valley, and Sonoma Coast. Thank you so much for watching today. I do appreciate it. I will see you very soon. Santé.